So you're thinking about making a move to San Antonio, Texas. In this video, we're going to cover the top 5 suburbs surrounding San Antonio. Now, the reason for that is because I know when you're transitioning to a new city or a new area, it can be really overwhelming and you just don't know where to start. So I'm going to cover the top 5 suburbs because most of the people that call us that are moving into San Antonio tend to focus on the suburbs. That's really where a lot of people are moving. And then, of course, if you give us a call, we'll be able to talk to you about other areas in San Antonio as well. But so for the sake of this video, we're going to be going over the top 5 suburbs. So you want to go ahead and grab your popcorn to stick around for all of it so you can learn everything there is to know about these top 5 suburbs. If this is your first time to our channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio, Texas and its surrounding areas, make sure you subscribe or tap the bell for notifications to ensure that you are one of the first to get notified when we drop a new video. My name is Katie Powers, and my husband Steven Garza and I get phone calls from people just like you every single day that are looking to make a move to San Antonio. Whether you're 6 days or 6 months away from making that transition, we would absolutely love to hear from you. All of our information is listed right below in the description box, and we would be honored to be your realtors of choice to help you make that smooth transition into the area. Now, enough of that, let's jump into the top 5 suburbs. Suburb number 1 is Cibolo, Texas. So let's jump into the map so I can show you where it is in relation to San Antonio. So here we are. I'm going to zoom out so we can see San Antonio. There we go. So San Antonio, I just want to give you a little background information to make things make a little more sense. San Antonio is very large and very spread out. We have 2 major loops in San Antonio. We have 410 that goes in a circle. That's our inner loop. And then we have 1604 that encompasses the outer loop of San Antonio. So unlike other cities, we are very circular, and everywhere, like in Dallas or Austin, they tend to grow on certain parts of the city. So like in Dallas, North Dallas is the main area that's really growing that people want to live in. And in Austin, it's South Austin, right? In San Antonio, we're growing very circularly. It's really just growing out and expanding and encompassing all the cities that have surrounded San Antonio, which is just growing and meeting those. So a lot of these suburbs have been cities for a long time, not all of them. But for example, we're going to touch on Cibolo first, and it is a city that has been there for decades, and it was its own on the outside of San Antonio, and really San Antonio's just grown and started to encompass it, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea of where Cibolo is in conjunction to San Antonio. It is the northeast side, and it is right off I-35, which also I-35 takes you to Austin, and it goes all the way up and all the way down Texas, really all the way up to, I think Steve said Minnesota, I don't know, but it goes straight up and straight down the United States. So it cuts through I-35, cuts through San Antonio, and goes through Austin. It goes right there. This is 1604, and this is Cibolo. So the location is wonderful in Cibolo because of its proximity to so many things. It's close to San Antonio. You're only 10 to 15 minutes into the outer skirts of San Antonio. There's a great shopping center right here called the Forum. So you've got lots of restaurants and shopping about 10-15 minutes away from Cibolo. And then if you continue to travel down I-35, you can take 410 into 281, or you can stay on 35. Either way, it gets you to downtown San Antonio. And that's about 25 to 30 minutes depending on traffic. So you're close, within 30 minutes to downtown San Antonio, and you're within 15 minutes to downtown New Braunfels. And if you keep going down this I-35, you're gonna get into San Marcos, Kyle, Buda, and then Austin. So you're about 45 minutes from Austin. So the only thing that I can say negative about the location is I-35. The traffic is awful. And I say that awful, it's relative. If you lived in places like New York City or Los Angeles, you're gonna laugh at me when you move here and see our traffic because it's relative. For us San Antonians, I-35 is one of the most congested freeways we have because it is a main corridor up north San Antonio. So not North San Antonio, up north Texas and onto other states. Now, Cibolo is a great location also because you have Randolph Air Force Base located just south of Cibolo. It is a very, very military friendly town. The majority of home buyers I have helped in the Cibolo area are either active duty or retired veterans choosing to stay in Cibolo or move and retire in Cibolo. It's also a very family-oriented town. So those are some things that it has been voted for. So according to NerdWallet, Cibolo was voted number 9 out of 236 other cities and it was voted as one of the top young family cities. So it's very family oriented and it's very military friendly, which are why a lot of people love to move to the area. It's a great suburb. The schools are also rated as top A rated schools according to niche.com. We've got Steele High School and quite a few other of the schools there in Cibolo. It is in the district of Schertz, Cibolo, Universal City, and Converse. So as you can see in this map, these cities are growing quite fast, so it wouldn't surprise me if Cibolo breaks away or Schertz and Cibolo break away for their own school district in the future. But as of right now, the school district encompasses Cibolo, Schertz, Converse, and Universal City. So you'll see the acronym, but that's the school district that encompasses. They are great schools. They're top rated according to niche.com. So great area, great schools, family oriented. And as far as home values, so as far as house prices go, you've got a range. So your average sales price is going to be $300,000 and $400,000. So $300K to $400K is your average sales price. Okay, so that is the meat of the market. Now, home prices in this area do go as high as $800,000. Now, the $800,000 are going to be your new build homes. Mesa Western is honestly one of the only neighborhoods that's building at that price point, and they're Chesmar and Highland homes. If you want to see how spectacular and beautiful those homes are, please make sure you check out our new construction vlog for Cibolo because we do actually tour those model homes in that neighborhood. So you can see just how far your money stretches in Cibolo with those new builds. It is a newer build community. Cibolo has exploded in the last 10 years. So there are so many new build communities. So you'll definitely want to check out that video to get more information. But as far as like current home prices, there's 244 homes for sale in Cibolo right now. We've got a lot of inventory. That's about 4.5 to 5 months worth of inventory. And with the average sales price being between 300 to 400, you can see there's a lot of homes in the mid 200 price points all throughout here. And of course, as I keep moving this over, the prices continue to go higher. So this shows you 50 at a time or 40 at a time. And you can see like these over here are going to be closer to your 400, upper threes to 400. And then there's these over here that are in your lower 300s. And then you've got some communities that are building out here off Seguin Road. Again, technically it goes into Hackerville, right? Like these cities, all these little cities, Santa Clara, they've all just kind of gotten encompassed by the growth in Cibolo. So as you go, there's quite a few homes on the market. You can go from the least expensive home right now is like $230 all the way up to $800 on a new construction. But really the meat and the bulk of the sales prices are between $300,000 and $400,000. So another great thing about Cibolo is the tax rate. When I say your money stretches further or you get bigger bang for your buck in Cibolo, this is why. Your tax rate is lower. Now, again, different parts of town might have a different tax rate, but the overall tax rate for Cibolo is 1.94%. That's going to help make your mortgage payment lower, on top of the fact that the land and the build, you're just getting larger homes for less amount, and then that plus that lower tax rate makes that mortgage payment even more feasible. So very, very affordable and military friendly town. If Cibolo is something you are thinking about, it is a great community to think about, and you have a lot of inventory and choices to choose from. As we get closer to the summer months, you're going to see that inventory increase, but as the military PCS is in, you're going to see the inventory go down. So you're going to see a lot of that. Also, 84% of the citizens in Cibolo own their home. So there's not a whole lot of rental opportunity. A lot of that percentage that's left over that does rent are military members that are renting out their homes because they no longer live in the area. So you have a lot of nice homes for rent. I shouldn't say a lot. You have the opportunity to rent some nice homes in Cibolo, but for the most part, you're not going to have a lot of apartment complexes or anything like that. Cibolo is a very home ownership friendly town. So great things going for that. If you want to learn more about Cibolo, make sure you check out our videos. We've got a couple of them on Cibolo. We have the pros and cons about Cibolo video. We have, which is very informational. We have a tour vlog that goes over me and Steve touring the town, showing you some pre-owned homes and how far your money can stretch with pre-owned. And then we also have that new construction vlog that you should definitely check out. There's some gorgeous homes being built in Cibolo, and definitely ones I have like check marked or kept an eye out for myself, because I would love to live in the Cibolo area. It's gorgeous, and the downtown area is just so cute. So you'll definitely want to check out the downtown area. It's not very big, so it's not maybe a full day activity, but it is, you could spend a half a day there. This is your downtown area right here. It's got this barbecue place. It's got the Maine's Ice House. It's got all kinds of great goodies and shopping. Yeah, the old Maine Ice House. You've got even a wine bar that's jumped up here. So some good food, barbecue, of course, because it's Texas. So food, barbecue, hangout places, bars, shopping. It's a cute little downtown. Again, it's maybe a half a day. It's not very big, so you couldn't spend the whole day there, but overall, just a really cute area. So now let's jump into suburb number 2, which is Helotes. So again, back on the map, we have San Antonio, Schertz, and Cibolo, which we were just is over here. We're gonna jump all the way over to the northwest side to Helotes. So opposite sides of San Antonio, you have different freeways. Helotes is near I-10 and 1604, that outer loop. Now, I am sure you know this, but just in case you don't, I-10 is a freeway that actually goes from east to west all the way across the United States. However, when it hits San Antonio, it goes north and south, because if it kept going west, it would run into Mexico. So they had to make it go north and south through San Antonio, and then it levels off and goes, east and west further up north. So in San Antonio, it's going to seem very confusing when it's telling you to go, I-10 west, but you're going north. It seems very backwards. So, but just so you know, I-10 does go all the way through San Antonio, hits downtown, and then goes east. And when it goes west, it goes north. So that is some fact trivia, confusing trivia for freeways on San Antonio. So back to Helotes. It is on the northwest side, and the location is great because this area is really where a lot of corporations are at. So you have USAA, which is right off of I-10. This is I-10, so USAA is right over here. You've got University of Texas, San Antonio. You've got Six Flags, you've got SeaWorld and Aquatica. So you're just kind of near all the action on the northwest side. Lots of shopping at the Rim, La Cantera. You're also at the foothills of the hill country. So you start to see the topography change when you hit Helotes and start going further north. You have a lot more hills, a lot more oak trees, not as much cedar trees, and there's still a lot of cedar trees, but you've got prettier oaks. And then you have this beautiful state park, Government Canyon State Park. So a lot of Helotes backs up to this park. So your views are really, really pretty. Now, there is one main road that runs through Helotes, and this is Bandera, also called Highway 16. We call it Bandera, and it goes all the way out to Blanco. So that is going to be your main source of traffic in Helotes. It is stoplight, stoplight, stoplight until you get past Old Town Helotes. And then it just kind of opens up. There's no more stoplights, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful drive out to Bandera and Blanco area. So as you can see, there's lots of traffic as they are expanding the roads, because there's lots of new communities that are popping up on that east part of Helotes in the back end. They're really nice, like little ranches. So you can buy, 5 to 10 acre lots and put a house on it. They're really beautiful out there. So the little heavy traffic here in the downtown area, but you really have everything that you need for this location, because right at this intersection of Bandera and 1604, you have your Walmart. Actually, I think Walmart's over here, HEB, your big grocery store, and this one is an HEB Plus, so it is huge. It's extra huge. You can even buy furniture in there. So you've got HEB Plus, you've got Walmart, you've got Academy, you've got every fast food restaurant you could possibly think of. And then of course, you've got some other chain restaurants scattered in there as well, and they've started to grow out here, all of these chain restaurants. So lots of really great restaurants, activities to do. You're close to shopping. It's really become a very sought after suburb for those reasons. Now the schools are rated an A. They used to be A+, but something's going on because niche.com just dropped them to an A. It is in Northside ISD. So you are in some of the top rated schools in Northside ISD are located directly in Helotes. And your average sales price in Helotes is gonna be 500 to 600K. Sales price is much higher in Helotes. I attribute that to how sought after it is, but also it's in the hill country. So the views are prettier, and you're not gonna, there's new builds in Helotes, there's not a lot of them. They're gonna be further out, further away, but inside Helotes, you're gonna find homes anywhere from the 90s to all the way up to 2019 really is when they started running out of space. They started coming down here off Gom Road, and Helotes is still in this area. So they're building all in this area still. There's some new builds there, and then there's new builds out here. But the majority of the homes in Helotes are going to be pre-owned, and they're beautiful. The homes range, so you can still get into Helotes at 350. If you're going to get into Helotes in the 350 area, you're definitely going to be in Sonoma Ranch. And then homes range, they go all the way up into 1.2s, 1.4s. Those are gonna be on those homes that are backing up Government Canyon State Park, because the views are just so beautiful and it's never gonna change. You truly back up to green space in a beautiful park and it's never gonna change. So that is one of the benefits of Helotes, and those price ranges go higher because you're at the foothills of hill country and the views change, topography changes. So really great overall suburb. You even have, I love how it talks about the T Floors Country Store here on Google. That is where your Old Town Helotes is. So let me zoom in. Old Town Helotes is right in this area. So cute downtown. Again, it's small, so probably half a day. You probably don't have a full day there, but there's a great coffee shop and bakery. There's even an old history trail. I think it's like a 12-minute walk, and you can walk the trail and learn the history, because it used to be an old stagecoach stop for people who were, when we were wagoneers, and they were, traveling towards Bandera out of San Antonio. This was a pit stop for them to stop at T Floors Country Store, the first grocery store in Helotes, so they could pick up supplies for their journey. So lots of great history in Old Town Helotes, lots of cute shops. There's actually, for you ladies, there's a really cute boutique there. It's like a cheetah, I think it's called Cheetah Store. I think it's not anything like fancy in terms of name. Like I really think the name is Cheetah Store. And it's really cute. Like everything is decked out in cheetah print, but they have some really cute items in there that aren't cheetah print, but they also have a lot of cheetah print if you like cheetah print. So a really cute little boutique that you can shop in, and they have lots of little shops in the area. And then of course, if you, T Floors Country Store is no longer a store, it's actually a country bar. So now it's a dance floor, and they have great concerts. Like we have some really, really great country artists that come in, and that's a concert hall now. So you can go hang out there in the evenings. So overall, that is Helotes. Super great suburb of San Antonio, which is why it made our list for number 2. So let's jump into suburb number 3. All right, so suburb number 3 is Boerne. We are all the way out. Boerne is probably the furthest suburb from San Antonio, but honestly, if you drive I-10 right here, you're not even gonna realize that you've left San Antonio and are in between Boerne and San Antonio, because it's grown so much out there. So Boerne is right here. We were just in Helotes. We've showed you Cibolo. So we are going more north. It is still towards the west of San Antonio, but it's really north San Antonio towards Boerne. Boerne is a wonderful suburb for so many reasons, and one of the main things for me is the vibe. The vibe of Boerne is country. You are in the hill country. You're not at the foothills anymore. You are in the hill country in Boerne, and it's just so family oriented. When you drive the neighborhoods on the weekends or after 5 o'clock, there are people out with their families everywhere. It's just such a family-oriented area. One of my other favorite things about Boerne is the downtown area of Boerne, and that's because it is really the nicest downtown that we have, aside from downtown San Antonio. Out of all the suburbs, everywhere around San Antonio, Boerne has the nicest Main Street. The downtown area is so cute. You've got old buildings that they've, renovated and put in restaurants and bars and shops. So this is a downtown that you could spend the whole day. It's actually quite long. So it starts closer to here. Starts closer to here. They've got all kinds of like the Cibolo Creek Brewing. They have a really cool sitting area that you can sit and look at this Cibolo Creek. They call it a creek, but in this area it's pretty wide, so it's a nice little river going through Boerne. And then you have River Street over here. So they've got a great park right here where you can walk next to the river. It's very pretty. But downtown Boerne really starts like right here and comes all the way to here. So you've got a really large chunk of downtown. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, plenty of restaurants to hang out in, lots of shopping. You've got lots of antiques. You've got the main square right here, which they have. It's a really pretty park that you can go. You'll see lots of people there with blankets. Reminds me of Zilker Park in Austin. So obviously not as big as Zilker Park, but people will lay their blankets out and their dogs will be there and they're reading books, their kids are running around. It's just a very, very peaceful vibe, very family friendly in the middle of downtown. So really cute shops and stuff in that area. So you'll definitely want to check that out. If you're interested in the Boerne area, you definitely need to try that out. Now, the other thing about Boerne, which if you watch our videos, we've got quite a few videos on Boerne as well. We take you to Boerne Lake over here. This is kind of our best kept secret for Boerne. It's really fun and families go crazy over there. My favorite thing about Boerne Lake is they don't allow motorboats. Anything with motors is not allowed in Boerne Lake, so it's safe for your children to go swimming and you don't have to worry about people being dumb. I don't know a better way to say that. So you just don't have to worry about that. You kids can go out and have fun. Families are there barbecuing. There's a playground at the Boerne Lake Park and there's a disc golf, what is that called? Disc golf course there as well. So lots of things to do, a great place to escape the heat by hanging out with Boerne Lake. So you'll definitely want to check that out as well if you're checking out Boerne. Now, things to keep in mind for location of Boerne is the proximity to everything. So of course you have your HEB. They actually just put in a new HEB right here on I-10. I don't know if you can see that because I'm not zoomed out enough. So it was a really big deal when they put it in. They say it's for the Fair Oaks area, but they just put a new HEB right here off of I-10. It's really nice. Now you do have an HEB in Boerne, and you have a Walmart. So it's really off of Main Street. Goodness, I'm all over the place. There it is. Okay. So you do have everything that you need in Boerne as well. You've got your HEB, you've got a Walmart right here. Of course, Mary's Tacos, you gotta get some of those beans. That's Steve's favorite place, is Badass Beans are at Mary's Tacos. So they have one in Helotes and in Boerne now. So, but you've got HEB, Walmart, restaurants, and then you're also really close, depending on traffic, of course, to the Rim, La Cantera, Dominion. All of these areas have restaurants here. You've got lots of restaurants, lots of shopping in La Cantera and the Rim, and then lots of restaurants that have really just taken over I-10. So you're not far from any type of restaurant that you can think of, and shopping. So just a great location. And if you really want something that's family oriented, Boerne is the place to be. The schools are rated A+. They are some of the top rated schools in Texas, not just the San Antonio area. There are 2 high schools. They actually just put out an article at our local news, and the 2 high schools in Boerne, the only 2 high schools in Boerne, both made top rated high schools in the state of Texas. So Boerne Champion and Boerne High School are phenomenal schools. I also think that's why Boerne's become such a family-oriented town. These schools are amazing. It's a big reason why people are moving to the area. Not just academics, their sports programs are really great too. So great schools, some of the best public schools in the state of Texas, right here in Boerne. And then your sales prices, because it's so sought after, there's your catch. There's your one negative for Boerne. The sales prices are higher than some of your other. It's going to be right up there with Helotes. So your average sales price in Boerne is $585. The bulk of homes for sale are going to be between $500,000 and $600,000. Okay, that now Boerne has some of the highest price homes I have seen all outside of the suburbs. So, I mean, I've seen homes go as high as 5.5 million in Boerne. It's definitely going to be on the outer skirts. You've got some really big, I shouldn't say big, some really beautiful areas like Courtier out here. And then you've got Tapatio Springs if you want country life living. So in these areas, homes are going from anywhere from $1 million, 17 million. It just depends on the amount of land in the house. So that's something to keep in mind for this area. You can get into Boerne for as little as $350. There's not a lot of them, and there's going to be some nice ones. If you watch our Boerne new construction vlog, there are definitely some homes over here in Corley Farms. You can get into a Syntex home for around $350. So you can still get a new build at $350. If you're going to buy pre-owned, you're going to find some over here in the Boerne area close to the original Boerne High School, around $350 to $400. So you can still get into Boerne $350, but your average sales price is definitely between $500,000 and $600,000 in this area. So that's it for Boerne. That is number 3 on our list. Now let's jump into number 4, suburb number 4, Alamo Ranch. So Alamo Ranch is a very new and upcoming suburb. It actually used to be an old cattle ranch on the northwest side of San Antonio and got bought out by a developer in 2006. So as far as suburbs go, this is going to be your newest built suburb in San Antonio in terms of, well, our top suburbs, but the fact that it made the top suburbs is a big deal since it's only been around since 2006. Okay, so as you can see on the map, you've got San Antonio here, and we've got Cibolo here, we've got Boerne up here, we've got Helotes over here, and now we are jumping in to Alamo Ranch. Now Alamo's on the far west side, so you're gonna have some debate with the locals. I believe Alamo Ranch people still say they're northwest, but truly even on the map it says far west side, so it is a true west. Now here for location on Alamo Ranch, you've got 1604, which is that main outer loop. You also have, as you can see, the 410 inner loop here. They just finished, and I say just, it's probably been a few years, but it's a new freeway because I don't live on this side of town. So every time I go over here, I get so excited to use this new freeway, and that's 151. So 151 saved people on the far west side of town hours of their day back into their life. It's so wonderful. So you can cut straight from 1604 to 410. It actually even takes you down to 90, which makes it really, really easy to get to downtown San Antonio from the far west side now. It didn't used to be that easy. You used to have to come all the way down 1604, jump on 90, and then sit in all of this traffic. So now you don't have to. Now you can just cut 151. It's beautiful and wonderful, and everybody that I put over there absolutely loved it. So one thing that is wonderful about Alamo Ranch, not just 151, even though 151 literally drops you into Alamo Ranch. I don't know who got that approved, but they were geniuses. So the overpass goes over 1604 and literally drops you right into Alamo Ranch Parkway, which is your main road through Alamo Ranch. You've got two really. Your main one is Alamo Ranch Parkway, which is right here. Just like I said, 151 drops you right into it. And then you've got Culebra, which goes here. So really you've only got those two main roads that are directly in Alamo Ranch. And then you've got some that cut across Alamo Parkway, Lone Star Parkway, and this will get you through. Now, one thing that's great, I shouldn't say one thing, there's so many things great about Alamo Ranch. One of the many things is new construction. So because this area didn't start getting developed until 2006, the homes in here, which they are still building in, there's not a whole lot of new builds left in Alamo Ranch. They are still building out here, this back part of it, which is Del Webb. So that's a 55 plus community. So if you're interested in that, hit me up, because that's a really cool community on this side. But the majority of the homes are over here. Now, you have Northside ISD schools, just like in Helotes. You've got great schools. A Taft High School is over here. So again, schools are rated A for this area as well. They've got a lot of new stuff coming up in the area. I believe there is a new elementary put right in the middle of Alamo Ranch as well. So just a really great area. Now, this is what you're gonna love more than anything, because when I say your money stretches further in Alamo Ranch, it's even better than Cibolo in terms of how your money stretches. So your average sales price in Alamo Ranch is $385. That's your average, okay? Most of the homes that are currently on the market right now range from $275 to $350. So when I pulled it up, there was 100 between $275 and $350. You have a lot of inventory in that sweet spot. On top of that, because this neighborhood is outside of 1604, the tax rate is lower because you're not getting taxed for San Antonio as the city. So you only have county taxes out in Alamo Ranch, at least for now. It might get annexed in the future. I don't have a crystal ball. I would assume eventually San Antonio would get wise and annex it in. But there is no letters going out that are saying that as of now. So right now that rate is still really cheap. So your money stretches. So in this area, if you find a home in the $275 to $350, I mean, you're looking at a really, really great monthly payment. Now, homes do go up to, the highest homes in here are around $600,000. And I put a few clients in there over the last 3 years around $550, $585. And those homes are spectacular. I mean, we're talking over 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms with their own bathroom. So 4 bedroom, 4 bath, plus a half bath. Then you've got an office, you've got a media room, you've got a game room. I mean, you just get so much more for $500K in Alamo Ranch than honestly you get anywhere else in San Antonio. And hopefully people from San Antonio don't hate me for saying that, but it's just, you get a lot of bang for your buck. There's a couple gated communities there in Alamo Ranch for those higher price point homes. And then you have all the others. It's just a great community. Now, why it has made the suburb list is not just, you know, the schools, the location, and the home prices. It's also the growth. So right here down Alamo Ranch Parkway, you have everything coming up there. So it's got its own HEB. It has all of these shopping centers with restaurants in there, doctor's offices, dental offices. So really it's become this own little hub. So even though it's not very big, you don't have to really go anywhere that you don't want to. If you don't want to go into San Antonio, you've got everything right there for you in Alamo Ranch. When they opened up that HEB, every one of my clients that lived in that area was very, very happy. So not that the other HEB was too far, right? You have a Walmart right down here on 1560 that you could just jump right through. And then of course you have, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you have an HEB over here by SeaWorld, but you've got HEBs everywhere, but to have one in that community is really, really great. It's easy. So really great. Now, as far as work and travel, if you are working at Boeing, or anywhere at he keeps calling it Kelly Air Force Base, so I keep referring to that. It is not an Air Force Base anymore. Now it's called Port of San Antonio, so I probably keep saying these on these videos. It's really for me more than for you, because it is not Kelly Air Force Base anymore. So if you are working at Kelly Air Force Base, whoop, I didn't mean to do that. If you're working at Kelly Air Force Base, which has Boeing, it has a lot of new companies in there, but Boeing's the biggest one. And we help a lot of Boeing families transition from Seattle into San Antonio. Steve's brother works for Boeing, so we have a lot of Boeing friends coming into San Antonio. And honestly, Alamo Ranch is where they want to be. It's an easy commute. They can cut 151 literally straight in to Kelly Air Force Base. It's amazing. You've got Lackland Air Force Base over here and over here if you're going to boot camp. If you're in the Air Force and you're going to boot camp, you're coming through San Antonio. So we've got that big Lackland Air Force Base there. You can also just take 1604 to 90, drops you right there. And then if you're having to go into downtown, because of 151, it's made it really easy just to cut into downtown. So the ease of which Alamo Ranch has made for people to get to these locations is honestly the biggest draw for people working in those areas. Now, that doesn't mean there are other, jobs in that area, but that's the big pull that we see for who is moving into the Alamo Ranch area. Some of my clients that just recently moved into there, man, their house is so beautiful. I was in awe when I was walking it. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you find those houses, you walk in and you're like, oh my gosh, I want this house. If you don't buy it, I'm gonna buy it. But they love it over there. And honestly, they're not working over there. Their child is still going to Clark because they still own a home in Boerne. So they do a lot of traveling, but they wanted to be in that area simply because of the area. They get more bang for their buck. They sold their $500,000 house in Boerne that was smaller, and they went and bought this huge monstrosity, 3,000 square feet, everything you could possibly want in it for $550,000. So, they didn't have to really increase their budget much, and they got way more bang for their buck out in Alamo Ranch. So it's just a really, really great area, great home prices still for San Antonio. So if you're looking for a suburb, literally, I would totally show you that. If you're in the 300 to 400 price point, you're gonna get a really beautiful house in that area for that price point. So enough said about Alamo Ranch. We are gonna go into our fifth and final suburb. All right, so our fifth and final suburb is Stone Oak. Now, this is true North San Antonio, okay? I don't care what anybody tells you, it is North San Antonio. Some people call it far North Central. It's just North San Antonio, okay? So you still have a San Antonio address. Stone Oak is really a neighborhood, but it's become a suburb. And it's very near and dear to my heart because this is where Steve and I live. This is our neck of the woods, and we love it. So it is, as you can see, San Antonio, and it is off of 281. So North San Antonio, off of 281 and 1604. If you continue up on 281 past Stone Oak area, you are gonna hit the hill country. So you're gonna hit Bulverde, Spring Branch, Canyon Lake, all those things. So Stone Oak is just really, honestly, the reason why Steve and I live here. It's just the location. It is so easy for us, especially as real estate agents, to get anywhere in the San Antonio and surrounding areas without, okay, if we live far east and it's an hour and a half to get to the west, right? Like, we are very central, so we can get to any part of San Antonio within 30 to 45 minutes, which is just super helpful, right? Now, 1604 is undergoing quite a bit of traffic right now, so sometimes that 45 minutes turns into an hour, but nor here than there. Once it gets done, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So the one thing I want to point out about Stone Oak, other than its wonderful location, is the schools. So it is also rated an A for schools. Now, this suburb is located in the Northeast ISD, Independent School District. So it is one of the top rated school districts in San Antonio. And according to Niche, they are A-rated high schools in the Stone Oak area. You have Reagan and Johnson. They're very sought after. When I get phone calls from clients that want to live in Stone Oak, 80% of the time it's because they want to be in Reagan. And if we can't find them a house on their budget for Reagan, they go for Johnson. So they're both just really great schools, really great high schools. And I'm sorry I always talk about high schools. I have a high schooler, so that's always the thing I think about. And usually high schools are the hardest ones on the ratings. They usually don't rate very well. Usually the elementaries and the middle schools rate pretty high. So if you have an A+ or an A high school, you usually will have wonderful elementary, A and A+ elementary and middle schools as well. So Stone Oak has all of those things. It is a tight-knit community, and you do have one main road that goes through it, which is right here. Goes like this. So that is Stone Oak Parkway. Now they did create a new road, which I really love as a real estate agent because it makes my life easy, called Hardy Oak. And that, as you zoom in, you can see it is right here. So it's kind of your back way into Stone Oak. I really love it because it doesn't have as many stoplights and it's not as busy as Stone Oak Parkway is. Stone Oak Parkway has a lot of lights in it. So you just want to give yourself an extra 5 minutes if you're leaving and you're going to have to get to 1604 because you're going to stoplight, and some traffic there. So most of Stone Oak is just homes. It starts over here on Blanco Road. And then you've got Stone Oak and you've got Hardy Oak. Those are your main roads. Of course, you do have Huebner that kind of like filters in and intersects if you're coming from this part of San Antonio into the Stone Oak area. But those are really your main roads. Lots of homes. As far as like HEB and shopping, all of that's going to be off Blanco. You also have a Whole Foods, a Target, lots of restaurants right here off this Blanco area, this whole shopping center right here. So really great restaurants. You also have restaurants on Stone Oak Parkway, but most of it's either fast food or smaller, like a pizza joint or like just smaller areas. They do have a really, really nice wine tasting room area there. If you guys can't tell, I'm a very big wino. So they've got some really cool stuff here in Stone Oak. Now, Stone Oak was primarily built in the 90s through 2015. So there are very few new builds. I don't want to say there's none because there's always some new builds, but it's really just kind of been built out. As far as Stone Oak goes, the new builds are going to be up a little further. So you're going to get into, oops, I didn't go up high enough. You're going to get into Timberwood Park up here. This is where the new builds are. If you want to be in the Stone Oak area, it's kind of just grown, right? Like Stone Oak genuinely stops right here. Like it's a hard stop. You can see like the Stone Oak street signs change. You no longer have those when you come up this road and pass that line. It's a very distinct point that you see. You are no longer in Stone Oak. So they have that HEB right there for North Stone Oak people. And then there's like really great neighborhoods over here. They're all very beautiful. Timberwood Park is very sought after as well. So the new builds are in this area. You're not really going to see any new builds in the Stone Oak anymore because the homes were built in the 90s through 2015. You'll have a few newer ones sprinkled in there, but that's really the bulk of the homes. So you're starting to see a lot of renovated homes in the Stone Oak area, which is great because they were built in the 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s, so they need to be updated. So the average sales price for Stone Oak is $400,000 to $500,000. That's the bulk of what's selling. Now you can still find some in the high 300s. You'll be lucky if you find some at 350. To be honest, you're probably closer to this 385 to 386. But yeah, so 385 is really going to be kind of your entry point in Stone Oak. Now, our luxury market in San Antonio has really exploded over the last 5 years. So there are more $1,000 homes in Stone Oak than there ever has been. There's about 25 for sale right now that are 1 million plus. And that is in the wilderness, like Champion Heights, Wilderness Point. So it's more northern Stone Oak because they're the newer builds and they have views. So you definitely, again, topography changes a bit once you hit Stone Oak. It definitely changes when you get to Timberwood Park. You are in the hill country once you hit Timberwood, as you can see by all the green everywhere. So your topography changes. You've got more hills in Stone Oak. Stone Oak makes the news quite a bit because the builders in there had to build those foundations really high. So it's very, very common to see homes in the Stone Oak area with a lot of stairs to get into your front door. That's common on the East Coast too. So it's really only the people that are moving from central San Antonio or from a flat area like Arizona, or some people from California. I've even had someone from Nevada come in and laugh when they got to Stone Oak because they just thought there were so many stairs and it was crazy to them. But my Eastern transplants to San Antonio absolutely love the stairs and love the tri-level. There's not a lot of homes in San Antonio where you get that tri-level, but you get that in Stone Oak because it's being built on the side of a hill. If you talk to a local, they're gonna call it a mountain because we're not used to true mountains. Our hills are our mountains, okay? So just some fun facts about that. Now you do have 281 here, which is your main furrow through. The very best thing about Stone Oak today is the 281 construction is done. So you get to enjoy this absolutely gorgeous new freeway that they have finished. And so 281 used to be stoplight, 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 stoplight. There were so many stoplights on an actual freeway. It would drive me crazy, but they're all gone. And now you have this beautiful, beautiful overpass that bypasses all of the stoplights. It's so fast to get to Canyon Lake now. I absolutely love it. And honestly, it's brought the home prices up because it's so easy to get to and from Stone Oak now. So absolutely gorgeous freeway done. You've got a lot of shopping over here and restaurants all along the 281 corridor. Again, you've got some restaurants here, a lot of restaurants on Blanco. It just depends on what side of Stone Oak you live on. I have found the people who live on the east side of Stone Oak always go to Blanco. The ones on the west side always go to Evans and over here off 281 because there's big shopping centers here. So you've got H-E-B, Walmart, every restaurant, fast food you can think all along 281. And on Blanco, you've got Whole Foods, Target, you've got H-E-B, you've got a Lowe's, all right there. So it just depends what part of Stone Oak you're in, which way you're gonna go. But either way, you can always go north and go to this H-E-B too. That one's really nice, it's really pretty. So either way, Stone Oak is wonderful because its proximity to San Antonio and how easy it is to get to everywhere in San Antonio. I love it because we go to Canyon Lake a lot during the summer. And now that this freeway is done, it is a solid 25 minutes to Canyon Lake. Just cut over here. Super easy, but there's no more stoplights here, so it's very fast and easy. So really overall, just very accessible, easy. You are gonna get some older homes. And when I say, it hurts my soul to say older by saying the 90s or 2000s because I feel like I'm dating myself, but these homes are still very beautiful and the views are very beautiful. The topography changes and it's just a great area. So that is all for our top 5 suburbs of San Antonio. Now, of course, there are a ton of other suburbs and even parts of San Antonio and neighborhoods that are absolutely phenomenal. So if you are interested in learning more about suburbs, about neighborhoods, please feel free to give me and Steve a phone call All of our information is listed right below in the description box. I would love to learn more about your transition to San Antonio, whether you're 6 days or 6 months from making that move. I would love to learn more about how we can help you and your family in this big, big decision to transition to San Antonio. Thank you again. I know this one was a little long. I hope you stuck it out because it's really good information, but thank you again, and we'll see you on the next one.